Good afternoon. It is a little bit after 3 o'clock and we're going to get started. Hopefully you made Judy feel good about her cornhole setup. It visited her. She is promoting cornhole. How many have played cornhole in the last 2 weeks? Wow, that's a low number. We would like that to be more.
And competition.
Being advertised also.
That's right, the activities committee is also being advertised for the good work they do. So please share some love with those folks that are working hard on our behalf. Welcome. We will, as we always do, start our meeting officially with a moment of silence. Please join me. All right, thank you. Sounds like somebody did not get that message, but welcome. It is really refreshing to see so many faces. We were worried after all of the master planning sessions that this crowd would be less, and it is not. So thank you for participating in this session with us today. We've got a lot of really good information, and I think you'll be pleased with some of the information we're sharing. And we look forward, as always, at the end to get your questions and answers, feedback. It does change the way we do things, so we depend on your feedback and always appreciate the chance to be in front of you. So our agenda, we're going to start with a message from Carson. There he is.
Thank you, Steve. My update's very quick. Just wanted to say that you may have been receiving some emails about our estate planning and plan giving website. You may remember me talking about this a few months ago, that we had this new resource for you. I just wanted to let you know that you should be receiving an email quarterly, I think it will be, and it'll have different articles and resources for you that you can click on and look through, and there will be links that will take you to that website. And if you have any questions about accessing those resources or about information in those resources, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information will be included in those emails, and I'd be happy to either sit down with you and help guide you through, or over the phone, however you'd like. Just point you in the right direction. So just be on the lookout for those. And then I do want to welcome up Taylor Owens, who is our volunteer for this year for the Resident Financial Assistance Campaign, to give a quick update.
A real quick update on the financial assistance campaign this year. We're approximately 60% through the calendar year, and guess what? We're approximately 60% in raising funds. Let's keep at it and meet our goal. Thank you.
I will say we have seen an uptick in those of you who have decided to give from your IRA. I'm glad to see that more of you are taking advantage of that tax advantaged way of giving. If you have questions about that, please reach out to me. I can help guide you through that process. I know that many of you have a required minimum distribution that you need to choose what to do with before the end of the year. Friends Homes would be very grateful to receive that as a qualified charitable deduction, and then you still have to pay taxes on it and receive it as income. So certainly a good way to give, and just we're thankful for those of you who have given in general, and for those of you who have given in that way. So I'll end it there because I think I've said enough. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Carson. We appreciate the work Carson does on our behalf. It's important. And a lot of detail goes into that makes it much easier for us. So that was that. Community update. Let's start with the rumor mill, my favorite. There's been a rumor, or actually an observed practice by me, walked in and saw somebody prying the doors open at Woolman, prying them open with their, I said, what are you doing? And they were told that was the secret passage to the rumor was if you pried the doors open, if you forgot your badge, that was okay. That is not okay. That's the true part. Please don't do that. That's not the way to enter the building. If you forgot your badge, call security. They will let you in. They'll verify it's you. They'll let you in. Please do not pry the doors open. It does, in all seriousness, I think we spent about $1,100 repairing the door from some damage that was caused by people prying the door open. So please don't do that. That rumor that it's okay is a false rumor. Next one. We had the master plan sessions. We were having lunch and resident told us this is this week's rumor after master planning sessions, which I thought went really well, that the rumor was already out there. We were planning to eliminate the memory care unit. That, I hope you guys did not hear us say that, right? Okay, so we can verify. There is no plan, never thought of it, never considered. There is no plan to eliminate the memory care unit. That has never been discussed, not part of our plan. Not sure how that rumor came from what we shared, but it did. It's not true. And lastly, I heard this the past week. Our sales team purposely chose the West neighborhood more than Guilford neighborhood. Along those lines, leaving the West meeting, I did get a comment from a resident that said they're tired of Guilford getting all the good things. I'm not exaggerating. I literally heard that coming over from Guilford, from West meeting to here. And I promised this resident that I will hear the same from the meeting that I'm getting ready to go to in reverse. So, there's no truth to the sales team purposely showing West more than Guilford, but so what if they do? The purpose behind the purpose of what the sales team does is to try to gain occupancy, which benefits all of us. So there are times when a resident of the future or a resident on the waiting list may say, I only want to see this specific unit. And sales team, if they want to make a sale, would be silly to show them something they don't want to see. But they certainly do not, they show all parts of the campus. We're very proud to show all parts of the campus and proud of the services we offer. So just want to, if you hear that, you can help me put that to rest. All right, very pleased to introduce, and you may have already met her, but Sierra, can you stand up? In the back, Sierra Harrison is part of the Kellen Foundation. And I'll explain a little bit about what our relationship with the Kellen Foundation is. This foundation provides counseling services, group counseling, all the things you see on that list. We recently entered a partnership with them to be able to provide these services in addition to the on-site services that we already had, which include an LCSW already on staff, Kelly Hodges, who operates as our resident services coordinator. She is by trade an LCSW and is skilled to be able to triage issues.
What's LCSW?
An LCSW, thank you, good question, is a licensed clinical social worker.
Oh.
And so it is a certification above and beyond a master's in social services or social work. And so that's Kelly's background. In addition, we're augmenting that with the services the Kellen Foundation is providing. And as you know, we recently, this year, did also add our spiritual wellness coordinator, Bobby Nicholson, who's in the back. So all of those together, we think, combine to offer a really solid program of mental health and other types of counseling services. Okay, so with that, please say hi to Sierra before you leave if you've not met her. In addition, we'll be having some meet and greets specifically to learn more about what Kellen does, services they provide. Those are the dates that these meet and greets will occur. Now, she will have a presence on site 2 days a week. Is that correct? 2 days a week. And we think that will help for her to be able to build relationships that people can feel more comfortable accessing those services. So she'll have an on-site presence for that reason. All right. With that, takes us to Matt's show on dining.
All right, Matt's show. Ratings are good right now. Let's. So I do have Steve's comments made me think about when I was split between the two, and we had a meeting here, and I heard West gets everything. We feel like the redheaded stepchild. So I went to West and had a meeting shortly after that, and it was, we are the redheaded stepchildren. All the folks in Quaker Hill, the new buildings, are your favorite. And so I had a meeting with those folks later, and I thought, okay, this is going to be a more positive meeting. And sure enough, as soon as it started, we're the redheaded stepchildren out here because we're isolated and nobody knows who we are. So I can empathize with Steve's. We have no stepchildren. We love everyone. Anyone dine at Coble's semi-routinely? Anybody? Not as many as I hope, but we'll change that hopefully. So we recently went about changing the menu. Why did we want to do that? The need for changes was pretty obvious to us. So that menu has had minor changes throughout its time. So it's been quite a while since it's had a major overhaul, major look at. Additionally, we had a lot of individual feedback. So people come by periodically and say, I'm tired of this. Y'all never change the menu, or the food's bad. We did the dining survey in March, got a lot of good response, but it did point out a few things, particularly the frequency in which that menu changes, consistency, quality of food, variety were three other big points. And then the menu here. So we changed the menu here, and I think for the first time, we saw one of our restaurants, our dining venues, take on an identity, so to speak. So really leaned into what you all liked, what you all wanted to have served here, what that group that worked on that with us helped us identify. And so we kind of started to see, all right, now we can take Coble's in this direction because the Ruth went here and Hub is here. And so it really helped us to further define that, and really showed us the need that we need to revise this menu. So the process for doing that is similar to the Ruth. We set up a focus group, and that was comprised of, I got critiqued on this at the last meeting, some volunteers and some people that I specifically asked. People in particular that told me they do not like the food at Coble's. That is a one-way ticket to being asked to serve on a focus group. That's not a threat. Please keep telling me if you don't like the food, but I probably will ask you to help me fix it if you don't like it. So, and then the dining committee. And there's some missteps in that relationship that I'll cover shortly. So what drove the decision, as I mentioned, all these things, the survey, the feedback, the input from the focus group, input from the committee. What I can tell you did not drive it, little mini rumor mill, so Steve doesn't have all the fun. This is a direct quote from more than one email I have received recently, that Morrison and Friends Homes is just trying to save a buck by taking the Friends special off the menu at Coble's. And that, I promise, is false. In fact, I share with people frequently, the Friends special is one of the cheapest things that we can put on a plate. And if we were going to save money, that is certainly not the place we would start. So how do we get here? we put together a product that we thought would be the final, a menu that we thought would be the final product. We were going to roll out a new menu next week. We've since taken a pause on that. But as a result of that process, we did come up with a smaller menu of whole meals. So what we heard a lot was, we love the Friend Special because it's a composed plate. You can still swap sides and all those things, but we went in that direction. We love the chef's features. We have a duty to provide heart healthy options, and those are usually pretty well received too, but heart healthy's there. And then the feedback from those groups was, we understand the reasoning behind moving the Friend Special, but you have to serve it at West. So initially the thought was, we just won't have it at West anymore. We got a lot of feedback that was a bad decision, and so we said, what about serving at the Hub? It's more casual. We have a logistics, it makes sense to serve there, and we got some positive feedback in that group. Ooh, don't look at that. We got some not so positive feedback once we made that change. And the reason we feel that we got that feedback, we've had a menu that we felt would really appeal to the residents without the need to have a daily rotating Friend Special. We took the Friend Special and we did not give anyone that menu. So instead of providing value and improving value, we took it away. So we had some issues with the flooring, timing. It just did not work out. The rollout was poor. We put the cart before the horse. We took the Friend Special away at Cobles and did not provide the new menu. And that resulted in a lot of feedback, which we're grateful for. I got a lot of really well-worded emails, a lot of really thoughtful, I'm not being sarcastic, I did get my fair share of not so thoughtful and not so well-worded emails, but we got a lot of really good feedback, good points of view that had not previously been shared, and things that we perhaps overlooked. And so we made the decision, if you saw the memo, to put the Friend Special back, take a pause, and regroup and figure out a way to move forward. So how do we move forward? As I mentioned, the Friend Special is back in Cobles next week. I put for now up there because it is still our belief that we can provide that value in a better format. And so we have postponed the launch of the new menu. We are going to proceed with the tasting. So Cobles is closed tonight for dinner for a closed tasting. The resident officers, the dining committees, and the focus group are going to sample some of the new items, give us more feedback on that. We're going to continue to tweak the menu. We have carved out, I met with the chairs of the dining committee to talk about the agenda. We've blocked off essentially the entire strategic discussion portion of the meeting to talk about the menu. And then we're going to evaluate if we need to bring the focus group back together, how we need to proceed. But we are going to regroup on that, take a pause. So a couple key takeaways. Friend Special is back at Cobles. New menu is not starting Monday. New menu will start at some point, but not Monday. And again, our goal through this whole process, and I think even more so now is illuminated by a lot of the feedback, is we need to provide a menu that offers better consistency, quality, variety, at a fair value. And I think if we can do that, everybody will be happy. Most people will be happy. I won't call you out, but I think we'll be happy. And if you're not, there's other restaurants to eat at. But how do we do that? Again, a smaller menu. This is something we've had a couple other communities like ours. Residents have dined there, brought the menus back for me. I've reached out to several, got copies of menus. We've shared that. And overwhelmingly, we get a lot of feedback that this is the direction we want y'all to go. So we are looking at a smaller menu that rotates more frequently, rotates monthly, so the whole menu will change monthly. And that'll help us improve the quality, the consistency, and we think variety. Chef's features will continue to rotate weekly in Cobles. That will also improve variety. We get a lot of positive feedback about those. And then the pricing. So if you think back to last year, we decided and we communicated that everybody had been through a lot and we were not going to make big sweeping price adjustments. Now we've had to make some. Eggs in particular is one that for a while there It was like finding gold. But for the most part, we've not made big price adjustments, but we are going to look this year at making sure our menus are priced appropriately. Don't panic, because if you haven't lived here through this, when we adjust the prices, we turn right around and adjust your service credits an equal percentage and equal portion. So all that to say, again, we want to make sure that the new menu in Cobles gives people the opportunity to have those same value that you feel and you perceive with the Friend Special. And I think we can do that. So while we're on a roll about dining, Tim had to go home sick. I think he's just afraid to talk about the Friend Special. Don't tell him I said that. That's a joke. Tim is really sick, and we would not want to use the microphone after him. He called me today, and I was like, go home. So with that, I did not take a lot of his thunder, but I did want to put up here something that continues to come up. It's kind of in line with what we're talking about. I did sort of set it up with the thought that I may put Christina on the spot and have her present it, but then I didn't want to be mean to her either. So this has been going around. Some of you may have seen it, especially if you're on the dining committee. But how if I have a bad experience or a good experience, we want to hear that too. How should I tell somebody? How do I give feedback on my dining experience? And here's some ways. In the moment, you can tell your server, tell the supervisor, manager, or if you see a chef, if you see Tim, if you see me, Jordan, Steve, let us know, good or bad. We want to fix the bad things in the moment. What we don't want to do is Steve orders meatloaf and it's bad. He doesn't tell anybody, so Daryl also orders the meatloaf and it's bad. Elizabeth orders the meatloaf, and so on and so forth. What we want to know is, hey, this meatloaf's bad. Let's fix it before Daryl comes in and orders it. Let's get Steve something else. It also lets us, give positive feedback to the people who have done a good job. Another way to do that is the comment cards or the happy or not. So I know the happy or not has its own challenges. If you use it and like it, great. If you don't, we are presenting paper comment cards to you at the end of each meal. We encourage you to use those. We review those usually daily. Sometimes there's if we get a lot of them, it takes a little bit of time. But the team reviews those and they make adjustments. They give out kudos, they do all those things. The other thing they do is they enter those into the Happy or Not system, and I'll tell you why momentarily. And then another way you can share feedback is you can contact him directly. So you can call him, you can email him. He has 2 offices, one on each campus, so I don't recommend dropping by, especially here. It's down in the basement, and I get lost in the basement. I don't know about you, so, but you can go see him. And he wants to hear from y'all. So please reach out to Tim. So I mentioned we put the comment cards into the computer, and the reason for that is somewhere up here. Here. Again, we make adjustments based on the feedback. In the moment, at the end of the week, when we have our meetings, whatever we do, we make those adjustments based on what you're telling us. Dining management reviews those comment cards. They put them in the system. And this helps us do a couple things. It automatically will identify trends for us. So if we have 20 comments one night and 15 of them are about temperatures, it prompts us and it says you need to focus on temperatures. If it's service related, it helps us pull those trends out. The other thing it helps us do is provide this little report that we bring to the dining committee with the intention now, there's a new agenda for the committee, but with the intention of digging into some of that and saying, hey, the trends this week, this month, are temperature or speed of service. That's something that we're going to focus on. That's something we're going to update the team on. That's something that we're going to check in on. That's something we're going to focus on for this month. So it helps us to make improvements. It helps us to drive some strategic conversation, and it helps us to really go and say, here's what we've done poorly, here's what we've done well. Committee, what do you think? Is this on the right track? And so all that to say, please keep sharing your feedback because it is helpful. It's vital to our success. We want to know what we're doing poorly. We want to know what we're doing well. We want to replicate what we're doing well, and we want to stop doing what we're doing poorly. So please share your feedback. Again, all jokes aside, we received a lot about the Friend Special. I also share this because there is a meeting coming up tomorrow, dining committee, and I just like to put a little reminder out there that that is not the place to save up your grievances and come and unload at the end of the meeting. It doesn't do us any good. We want to know it in the moment. We want to know it quickly, and we acknowledge where we come up short. We want to fix that. So, if you're interested in working on that menu, please let me know because we are looking to make some pretty big changes, just like we did here for the Ruth menu. And with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Whitney.
Good afternoon. My name is Whitney Ariza. I'm the Director of Campus Life, and I'm happy to share some updates with you. The first is very exciting. Still very exciting.
Build the suspense.
Oh, here it is. I have two special guests who are going to come up right now. One you know very well, one who's very new, and some of you may know. What was that? What was that? So Mary Wallace has received a recent promotion. She is now the Senior Life Enrichment Coordinator. So let's... And Cassidy Holt, she's in her second week. She is our new Life Enrichment Coordinator. So Cassidy has already been on a trip already. She's she's been on 2 trips. She's helped with Icon. She's learning all of our systems. She has a really qualified and eager person training her, and so I want to thank Mary for doing such a good job. Cassidy has already said a few times that many residents have come up to her and said that you've got some big shoes to fill. So she does have big feet. And I agree with her. We're thankful for everything that Mary has done to train Cassidy, and you are still going to be seeing both of them. You'll see Mary here at Guilford still, and you'll be seeing a lot of Cassidy, but in the memo that we put out, we did say that Mary's office is going to move over to the West Campus, and Cassidy is going to be where Mary's current office is. But I want to assure you, you're going to see a lot of Mary. We see a lot of her at West and have for several months, so she's going to be everywhere, and so will Cassidy. So we're really excited about this, and I hope that you are too, and we're happy to welcome Cassidy as well. So thank you both. Okay, it's working. One thing I want to put on your radar, it is in the Connection newsletter, but we're having a craft and bake sale on August 20th. It's going to be in the West living room from 10 to 2. We are still accepting vendors. So if you're a baker, if you do crafting, make jewelry, any of that kind of thing, we would love to have you as a vendor. So far we've got jewelry, baked goods, decor items, books, cards, ornaments, and more, and we can take more. So if you're a vendor, we'd love to have you. If you're not a vendor, we'd love to have you come and shop. So mark that on your calendar, August 20th. It's a good time to start buying some Christmas gifts if you need some little things. All right, here's another exciting trip we've got planned. Actually, Cassidy has helped us plan some of this, but Mary has been the mastermind behind a lot of it. We're going to the mountains. We're going to Western North Carolina. We're going to go to the Biltmore. They've got a King Tut exhibit that we'll see, as well as the garden and house tour. We're going to go on the Great Smoky Mountain Railroad. We're going to start in Bryson City and go through the Nantahala Gorge. We've got a private trolley tour lined up of Asheville, and we've got some really good food on the itinerary too. So all the meals are included in this trip, all of your activities, and we feel like it's a really reasonable price. $715 per person for double occupancy, and then $865 if you want to have a single occupancy room. So we anticipate this trip's going to be really popular. So once the details go out, you'll see a memo come out about that and details on how to sign up. you'll probably want to do it pretty quickly to ensure your spot. So we're hoping that that will fill. And I think most of you will remember we tried to do this trip last year and it got canceled. We had a full sign-up list last year and it got canceled because of the big storm. And so Asheville is eager to have visitors come back and they're ready for us. So. And then a couple just reminders and tips. If you need help with Icon, contact Mary Wallace or Cassidy Holt. Cassidy is pretty well versed in Icon now. She's had a crash course and she's learned a lot. So contact either of them with questions on Icon if you want to know how to sign up for trips, if you've forgotten your password or for some reason it's just not loading, give one of them a call. And of course you can always give me a call too. This is another new development that we've been working on with the activities committee. We've heard a lot of feedback, especially from our Guilford residents, that you're always the last ones to get picked up on the bus. So if we go on a trip, because the buses are stored at West, the transportation department usually swings through West and then comes over here. And then sometimes you go back through West to get to the highway. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna alternate monthly where the pickups start. So starting in September, we'll begin the rotation. We'll start picking up here in September here at Guilford first, and then over to West afterwards. But I want to gently remind you that you've probably been used to saying that the pickup time is 6:15, and you might make it down there at 6:20, and the bus hadn't gotten there yet. Well, you're the first stop now, so get there, 5 or 10 minutes early, so when the bus gets there, you're ready to go. Because you've been used to having to wait because they load out West, but you're not going to have to wait in the month of September. So just make sure you pay special attention to that pickup time. Okay? That's it from me. Jasmine's up next. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Jasmine Hernandez, the Director of Wellness. I want to start off by saying thank you all who joined us for pickleball yesterday. Residents did win first place, but hold on, staff were a really strong second. So we will come back even stronger next year, but honestly we had a lot of fun, so thank you all for coming out to support. Yes, I woke up and I am very, very sore, so I guess you really are the winner because... So, with that, we have Contura Fall Friendlies, or what you might have known as the Senior or Contura Olympics. For just 2025, we're doing a small version of that called Fall Friendlies, and we will start the Olympics in 2026. So here's the lineup for the Fall Friendlies. We have home puzzle events starting September 1st through the 12th. We have 150 piece, 300 piece, and 500 this year. We have men's billiards. We will have preliminaries September 9th at 9 a.m. Mixed chair volleyball, men's 9-hole golf, women's 9-hole golf. Right here I have my dates actually mixed up. It's men's pickleball is actually September 12th at 1, and then women's pickleball is September 9th at 2 p.m. And then lastly, we have Quiz Bowl, and for this event only, we are allowing spectators to come and support the team. So we're asking all athletes to please sign by August 29th, and you can just let either myself or Kayla know that you want to participate in these events. And then all of the times and details is in the connection or on Icon. So this month for wellness, we have our monthly senior fitness assessments. For Guilford, we have Thursday, August 14th at 2 p.m. So this is great to have your baseline for lower body strength, upper body strength, upper body flexibility, and lower body flexibility and some balance. So we welcome you to come and sign up on Icon. Our monthly educational Encompass Well Talks, we have osteoporosis, myths, diagnosis, strategies, and hope by Ashley Strand. Now it's going to be Thursday, August 21st, right here in this space at 2 p.m. mindfulness workshop is back with Susan, and this series is called Finding Stability Amidst Change. We actually just had it last Saturday. You do not need to sign up, you can drop in, and that is every Saturday in August from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the Life Enrichment Center. We do monthly wellness challenges, and this month is called Step Into Wellness Cards, where you can find the card in the fitness center. I hope you know where that's at. If not, please let me know. We have, you complete a card, and each punch is one visit, so it's one visit per fitness center. Once you complete a card, you can win a prize. So one completed card, 10 days, 10 visits, is actually a hub smoothie on us. Complete the second card, you get another reward, and then the third card, you get another reward. So feel free to join, and that is pretty much it for wellness.
Everybody's getting claps today, even at West. This is fantastic. I'm Daryl Shores, I'm the EVS and Grounds Director. So I got some exciting news. Feedback-wise, we know that styrofoam has been probably the talk of the town. So in order to kind of help, at first we were going to put trash bins in certain trash rooms, and I didn't really like the idea of that. So I think what we're going to do is we'll just kind of assess each trash room and then add an appropriate sized yellow bin in each one of those rooms. Now what I want to mention too, like what's here, is that will only be for food containers. Okay? It needs to be clean food containers. We've noticed a little bit of some people are not doing that part. So just please take the effort, if you're gonna go throw it away in the styrofoam bin, to wash it out first. So in the meantime, we'll be adding some signage around in there. We'll have some additional help there to kind of aid you as far as like what else we collect in those styrofoam bins. Now the other part is at the very bottom, I'll have a map and a memo that kind of breaks everything out. But the part of that will be in the recycling centers that we have around campus. And I know some of you may not know what that means, but hopefully they'll be clarified there as far as the map goes. The one that will mostly be known is the one outside the maintenance building here. So there's a large 44-gallon bin there. That one, I really want to start collecting any packaging styrofoam. So kind of keep everything moving that direction so that we don't bog down the trash rooms. If you need help with that, just let us know, call Barbara or myself, and we can have a floor tech come out there and help you do that. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome. Next piece. So today, some of you noticed it, but Window Hero was here at Hobbs. They did clean all the Juliet balconies. They used a pressure washer. So essentially, for those that got to see them use the drone back in January, they stripped the drone part off of it, but added the pressure washer and added it. So that being said, the pressure washer can shoot about 5 stories up. So they hit all 4 stories of the Hobbs Juliet balconies only. They used a chemical called Lucid Clear, which basically is like a spot-free, streak-free, clean, like glass cleaner. So that helped really kind of clean those up. Now, if you experience something negative off that, please let me know. I think there's some ideas that's still kind of swirling around for what we can do to maybe improve that plan for next year, but this was definitely a big push to try to get kind of started on that side. And on that note, I'll turn over to Jordan.
The clapping is nice. I have to admit, it feels good, even walking up to it. It's funny because at West, the same thing happened after everybody spoke. Matt kicked us off and everybody clapped. It was very encouraging. Thank you, folks, for encouraging the team. It's so good to see you again. It's almost like we just did this yesterday and the day before. How many people came to the master planning presentation? Let's see a show of hands. Wonderful. Good job. You all get a gold star for attendance. Okay, financial update. Just a reminder, this document is available, it should be in the reading room. We'll put it there every single month so that if you're interested in the financials, you can see them. We do the same at West as well. We're doing well as a community financially. Our census is driving a positive variance in revenue. We are seeing a negative variance in our expenses. That's primarily from insurance and utilities, a couple different forms of insurance. And then all of our utilities are much higher than we had hoped for this year. I want to point out that we're still doing good though as a community. So when you see this number here, this negative variance, you might say, oh my gosh, we're in the hole $435,000. That's concerning. But the reality is that's just the variance on our operating income. We're still making $2.6 million, folks. There's still a positive margin of $2.6 million. So instead of a positive margin of $3 million, we're just at 2.6. That's still a good amount of margin. And so we're not concerned at all. Financially, the community is very, very strong. And you'll see why in a couple other areas as well. So we're not too concerned about this really because we're still doing really well right here in our actuals. So we always have to have a margin, and we do, and it's a healthy margin as well. Cash investments, we have just under $85 million in investments, just accruing interest and growing, which is wonderful to say. We also do have debt, however, which is why our investments are so good and helpful to us. $104 million, which is to be expected. We're about to make a big bullet payment on that debt to draw that debt down. We've had it set aside in accruing interest, and so we're going to make a big payment. You'll see that number come down. Our entry fees, we planned on collecting about $4.8 million in entrance fees year to date. We've actually collected $5 million, so we're outpacing what we thought we would collect. Our census is really strong. A lot of people want to move into Friends Homes. We have very few vacant units, and so we're in a really good position census-wise, which is why we're doing well here as well. And we plan to spend about just under $3.6 million in CapEx, capital expenditure projects. That's big mechanical purchases, big physical plant investments. We plan to spend about $3.6 million. We've only spent $3.2, but we have some big projects coming. A good example of that is the Ruth Dining Room. We're about to refresh the Ruth Dining Room. We have a focus group planned soon to go over that, and we'll share with you all the details on that, probably by this time next month. And then we always set aside 5% of our revenue for charity care. We have to set aside 5% of our revenue for charity care in order to maintain our not-for-profit status, okay? And then the board directs where those charity dollars go. Our ratios are really strong. So you see our budget here, debt service coverage ratio budget was 2. We're actually at 2.6. That's our ability to pay our debt. So days cash on hand, our budget's 762 days, and we're actually at 884. And our net operating margin is, again, ahead of budget at 8.7%. Again, these are all ratios that indicate strong financial performance, so you can rest easy knowing that we're in a good financial position as a community. We're very healthy. Just some general service updates. You may not know this because this is really not in your neck of the woods, but there's another skilled nursing within Friends Homes. We call that neighborhood, we call that Juniper. That's the West Healthcare. So Juniper's getting a bit of a facelift. For those, you may know that we gave a little bit of a facelift over at Whittier. We took all the white wallpaper down. We added some millwork, some wooden baseboards. We painted everything, and we really freshened it up, brightened it up. Well, we're doing something very similar at Juniper over at West, which is really nice. We're just reinvesting in the community, trying to keep things fresh, trying to keep things nice. And we're also addressing some of the culture there, some of the ways that we deliver service, how we serve people, their meals. So it's exciting for that area. It's gotten a little tired over the years, and so they deserve a little bit of attention, and we're giving it to them. You might be wondering, what's the status of that Ruth Dining Room refresh? We've been hearing about it for months now. What in the world is going on? Well, we've met with the designer many times. We met with the builders many times. We were presented with a budget, and we had to ask everybody involved to sharpen their pencils a little bit So we've met 3 times with the designer, 3 times with the builder, and we're trying to get to a point where we feel like the project is doable financially and that it'll have the desired effect once it's complete. We're very, very close. So on the 27th, we'll be meeting with the focus group who originally met with us and gave us a lot of ideas. That's the resident focus group. And the designer will be there, and she's going to present 2 different design options, and we're going to ask the residents to let us know which one they like best. And we're going to take their feedback, and if we have to make some changes, we will. We feel like we're at a pretty good point of being able to begin that project, and we hope to begin that project in September. In order to do so, we need to share with you what the design will be. We need to share with you how our operations will be affected. They will be affected. There will be disruption, but we have some good plans. We'll let you know what they are, and then as a community, we'll work through them together. Ultimately, you'll have a really nice, new, good-looking restaurant. Even better looking, I should say. It looks pretty good now, I would say. We're very proud of it. But we're going to set it up for the next few years. We want to make sure that that continues for the next few years. So we're really excited about that. We hope you are too. And in the process, we're hoping to address some of the noise. We know that it's a big cavernous dining room, and it can get very noisy. Now, you know that we address some of it with the earpieces. Has anybody noticed the staff talking to each other with the earpieces?
Yeah.
So hopefully you don't have the, hey, I need a fried chicken at table 52. Does that sound familiar? You ever experienced it? We're hoping to reduce that, but there's some other things that we're hoping to do as well. We're going to share that with you. Now, it will not solve everything. It's still going to be an open dining room. It's still going to be an open kitchen. But there are some steps that we did take that we'll describe. You may have noticed river landing buses. Somebody actually came up to me yesterday and said, Jordan, what in the world are all these river landing buses doing here? I promise you, they're not here to advertise. They are here because we had a couple of buses go down at the same time. There's no rhyme or reason as to why. We service them regularly. It just happened that they all went down at the same time. And so thankfully, we have a great relationship with River Landing. It's one of the many benefits of having a relationship with Kentura, that we're able to reach out to a sister community and borrow their vehicles when we need them. So that's why we have them. They're all at the shop getting fixed, and we've got a warranty. We're working on a warranty issue with the tram, so we have River Landing buses. And finally, I'd like to end with some celebration. Sometimes, if we're not careful, we focus on what's wrong and not on what's right. And there's a lot of things going well here. And so I hope you'll join me in celebrating some of the great things happening at Friends Homes. Now, there's many more, but these are some cool ones. Number 1, recruiting and retention. Do you know that as we stand here today, we don't have any nursing openings? And folks, that didn't just happen. You know, we didn't just wake up one day and all of our positions were filled. It's taken about a year, a slog fest, a year of managers and staff coming together. We've had focus groups, we've had listening sessions, we've had strategy sessions. We've tried a lot of different things. There is no one big thing that was done. It's many little things that happened in order for us to be able to stand here today and celebrate together and say we don't have any nurse openings. Now that could change next week. We recognize that. We know it. So we always have to keep our eye on the ball. But I'm so proud of the team that's come together to make this a reality when it comes to recruiting, retention, creating a culture, a positive environment, and yes, accountability. You have to hold people accountable. You have to set high standards and hold people to it. And, you know, we went through COVID. We lost a lot of good people during the pandemic and the Great Resignation, and we've been clawing our way back, and I'm happy to say that we're in a good position today, and we're really proud of that. So that's something to celebrate. Something else to celebrate, promoting from within. We just mentioned Mary. You know, Mary was our life enrichment coordinator, and she's expressed a desire to grow with the community, and we want people to grow. We want people to spread their wings and fly, and we want to provide opportunities for them to learn and experience new things, and we've been able to do it with Mary. Also Shakriya. Anybody know Shakriya? Shakriya was our director of nursing. She's been here a long time. She came here as a CNA, and now she is the director of clinical services. She's the tip of the spear for all clinical services within Friends Homes. Not Friends Homes Guilford, not Friends Homes West, but all of Friends Homes. So from CNA to LPN to RN to BSN to DON to now Director of Clinical Services. We celebrate Shakriya's growth, and there's many examples like that. And then Tanaya Williams, you probably don't know Tanaya, you may have seen her in Cobles. She started out as a server, she's done a little bit of everything for us. Now she's a dining room supervisor, and she's expressed a desire to grow. She's going to college on 2 different programs. Very bright and talented young lady, and she was just recently promoted to dining room supervisor. I'm proud of her too, and we know that there's great things ahead of her. Who has seen the Woolman Reading Room? What do you think? Do you like it? Well, yeah, Steve just said that is the worst kept secret. We were in there the other day, and for about 10 minutes, and I can't tell you how many people popped their heads in and said, "Ooh, look at that, that's really nice." So there's a subtle win in that room, right? We could have replaced everything with brand new stuff, but we know that good stewardship is one of our values, and we were able to take some of the stuff that was in there it was in good shape, maybe it needed a facelift, and we were able to repurpose it. So we're able to save a little bit of money, but also give it new life. So we hope you enjoy it. And that refresh came from the residents. Y'all asked for it, and we were happy that we were able to do it. And then master planning. There's a lot to be excited when it comes to master planning. Guilford is going to get a lot of attention. Phase 1, West got a lot of attention. It looks great. We're all enjoying it. Now Guilford's going to get a lot of attention, so we have a lot to be excited about. And then, of course, what we mentioned before, the Ruth refresh is coming, and you'll be hearing about that hopefully within the next month. So can we all agree that these are reasons to celebrate? Got a lot to be proud of. So that concludes the presentation. I thank you all for sticking with us. We'd love to answer any questions that you might have, and there'll be some microphones going around. Does anybody have a question or comment or feedback? Yes, Ruthie?
You mentioned styrofoam containers. Are those only for the styrofoam we get with our meals, or for other styrofoam we get from other places?
So the ones that will be in your trash rooms will be from your meals. And then there'll be a memo that goes out in the next little bit. We'll have a map on it. And on that map, we'll identify where those recycling centers are that you can throw away your packaging styrofoam.
Something small like an egg carton couldn't go in there?
That would be fine. Yeah, something like an egg carton. She asked about egg cartons. Those could go in your individual trash rooms. Those are not that bulky. So about the same size of a styrofoam to-go box.
Keep in mind for those food containers, they need to be rinsed out. Okay? Please do not put dirty styrofoam in that room. It needs to be fully rinsed out and clean. That goes for all your recycling, really.
What did you say about the egg cartons? I couldn't hear what you said.
The question was, what about something small, like an egg carton? Yeah. And yeah, those can go in there. That's not a problem. Okay. What else, folks? Is it possible that we answered all questions?
Kudos to Wildwood Landscaping. The campus is beautiful.
Thank you. And kudos to you for all the work that you do in our woods. Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, Word the other day, I was like, Taylor, do you have any water? And you're working hard, keeping those woods nice for us to enjoy. We really appreciate what you do for us.
I have 2 positive comments. One is the dining room. I have noticed that our plates are hot and our food is hot. So thank you very much for that. And the other one is for administration. I'm in Fox, which everybody knows is one of the old buildings. I am delighted delighted with my new safety bars in the bathroom. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary. I'm so glad.
I have a question about the excess or the profits that are donated. And I think it's been brought up that Wild Tales, who comes and brings these exotic wild animals to us, suffered a great deal of damage in that recent storm. And I think the idea of contributing to them in some way from Friends Home would be nice.
Thank you. Well, and I should mention that our charity funds are driven, it's driven by the Friends Homes Board of Trustees. But that feedback will and can be shared with them. Microphone's coming.
You know I always have a question.
That's okay.
Or a comment.
Well, we welcome it.
With regard to the Ruth, I often go into the Ruth at supper time, and regardless of what the weather is outside, inside, over by the windows, is always too cold for most folks. Personally, I like it a lot, but most folks do not like it a lot, and so they really don't want to sit over there by the windows if they can avoid it. In this redo of Ruth, is there any way that can be corrected for the people that this matters for? Not for me.
I would love to share that we can. Unfortunately, I'm usually a pretty straight shooter. In this instance, we're not able to adjust any of those the vents. In fact, I actually asked that very question, not only because of the temperature, but because of the noise that they create. And it's just, we're stuck with that dining room, the physical, mechanical side of it. We're stuck with it until master planning takes hold, if you know what I mean. I hate to say no, but I think that's the honest answer. We even asked, is there anything we can do to balance the unit to make it quieter? And we're gonna try, we'll try. But when it comes to the temperature, that area close to the windows, I believe it helps to cool the rest of the restaurant. And so if we toned it down over there, everybody else would be complaining about it being hot elsewhere. I'm no AC engineer, but I believe that's how that works. Microphone's on its way.
One of the, maybe an idea for those events along the window wall would be to get something like, you've seen those plastic curves that you can put on vents in your home. Could an item like that, that's larger, or at least something that is slanted toward those glass windows, that can reduce the amount of air that the diners get, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Yes, thank you. Good suggestion. Surely you have at least one more question or comment. No? It must be close to dinner time. Oh, John has a question.
Well, since you were begging so hard for another question, I thought
The meeting's over. Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
I should accommodate you. In Hobbs and Fox, we have a cart, C-A-R-T, cart room that has many, or whatever you'd call, grocery carts. I have not counted, I intended to do so, I had not counted the number of carts that have broken wheels that are a pain to deal with and noisy on carpeted floors.
We'll have to go to Harris Teeter and steal some more. Any volunteers? That can be a volunteer activity. I think I'm looking at Daryl. I have a feeling Daryl will take that feedback and go take a look. And if we need to order some new ones and replace the old ones, we we certainly can do that. Thank you for letting us know. That's good feedback. We like that. We like all these questions and all that feedback. Okay, I won't beg for any more questions. I want to thank you all for joining. I want to thank the team for presenting. We look forward to doing this same day and time next month. Have a good evening.